Welcome to Uncensored Conservatism. This is episode number 269. It's a big world out there, so let's look at some international news that may have not made the headlines. But we're going to start here in the United States, actually, where the left says this never happens. But this is Lena Maria Arroyo Hernandez, age 59. These are her pictures and she managed to vote in the 2024 election in Massachusetts. What makes this interesting is that she is an illegal alien from Colombia who has been in this country for 2 decades now. Over the years, she's received over $400,000 in government benefits using stolen identities. But, she's just an innocent mom from Massachusetts trying to make good in her life. Well, Great Britain announced that net migration into the country was the lowest in 2024 since the COVID pandemic, with only 431,000 immigrants entering the country legally, as student and work visas were reduced. Here's the problem. They relied on immigrants to boost their economy since World War II, but now those immigrants are placing a strain on social services. That is, they're a drain. They're not a help to the British economy. So what's a poor migrant to do? Well, it's simple. They enter the country illegally. In fact, 828 illegal immigrants managed to cross the dangerous English Channel, setting a new single-day record. So what can Britain do? Well, they increased boat patrols to stop these boats, but illegal migrants are shifty little devils. So now they're sneaking in on trucks entering the country. So far this year, almost 13 illegal migrants have made it into Great Britain. And once in the country, when they get to London, they've set up makeshift encampments, which are starting to piss off some people there. Apparently, they're taking craps in the street like the homeless people of San Francisco. But the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, this is his response. London is a welcoming city and migrants are a net gain for the city. Yeah, right. If you like picking up shit after humans. And the whole English Channel crossing thing is causing some friction with France, which is where these crossings begin. Instead of stopping these boats, the French naval patrols escort them. To make matters worse, the French have seized 2 British fishing boats just out there doing their job in fishing. In Rotherham, notoriously known for a Muslim pedophile ring that has landed many in jail, destroying the lives of countless young girls at the hands of Muslim men, many of those girls being little English girls. They've doubled down on stupid by naming Rukhsana Ismail, a Pakistani British Muslim, as their mayor, although the media assures us it's just a ceremonial title. She has no political influence. Across the channel in France, authorities announced the arrest of 55 men now accused of running a pedophile ring on the messaging app Telegram. They range in age to 25 to 75 and include a priest, a baker, and a candlestick maker, and a music teacher. Although they claim they did no wrong, one of the accused can't quite explain why he bought a see-through thong for an 8-year-old girl. Elsewhere in France, an Egyptian man has been convicted for sexually assaulting 12 people, 8 of them young girls. He's known for having a foot fetish and preys on girls as young as 10 years old. He's also known as a sexual assault nomad, but prefers the French Riviera. Despite the convictions, he will serve no prison time, but if he acts on his foot fetish again, then maybe they'll put him in jail for 3 years. Oh yeah, and if he's good for 5 years, he can work with children again. And that's France in 2025. Meanwhile, a report out of Holland indicates that Jewish synagogues are thriving. This comes 80 years after the end of World War II, when about 3/4 of the Jewish population of Holland met their fate in a Nazi death camp, so I guess that's some good news, until the Muslims find out. With trade talks between the European Union and the United States apparently stalled, President Trump is threatening an across-the-board 50% tariff on products from the 27-nation EU come June 1st. So we're just going to have to wait and see how this all plays out. Meanwhile, former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is lashing out at current Prime Minister Keir Starmer over his trade agreement between Britain and the EU, claiming it is a total sellout and betrays the Brexit movement. Besides the aforementioned problems of fishing in the English Channel and migrants heading to Britain from France, Johnson also noted that despite the Brexit vote, Great Britain was becoming a vassal of Brussels. But the EU has more important things to worry about besides some silly trade agreements. They're in the midst of debate over their proposed Digital Services Act. Sold as a means to control misinformation and to rein in big tech, it is now being called out as not a services act, but a surveillance act designed to chill free speech on social media platforms. In Germany, former Chancellor Angela Merkel is back in the news, arguing that recently enacted border controls in that country are placing freedom of movement at risk, even though statistics prove these measures have dramatically decreased the incidence of illegal immigration into that country. Merkel, you may remember, presided over Germany when they let in over 1 million North African and Muslim migrants. And for what? Well, there is this. Saeed Ibrahim, a Muslim 13-year-old student in Berlin, stabbed another student, shown there on the right, an ethnic German, in the neck with a knife and fled the school. The kid almost lost his life. That same day, in another town, another 13-year-old Arab kid from Iraq stabbed another German student in school. And that's what freedom of movement brings to Germany. You want further proof? The left claims that Germany's rise in crime is due to German men, but a recent report indicates that foreign-born women are the most violent groups in Germany, with Syrian women seemingly leading the pack. No, wait a minute. This just in. We have a new number one. It's Afghan women. Now, hold on now. Iraqi women have just surpassed their Afghan sisterhood. They are now number one at 394 violent crimes per 100,000 population. German women, a paltry 60 per 100,000. Come on, German women, you can do better. Yikes. Elsewhere in Berlin's Wedding district, which is over 55% Muslim, a man was approached on the street and asked about his religion. When he said he was baptized Christian, he was promptly pummeled by 5 tolerant Muslims and left on the side of the road. This district made news in 2023 when 110 elderly people were kicked out of a nursing home to provide shelter for, you guessed it, Muslim immigrants. And proving that actions have consequences, the German Green Party, that never met a tax or environmental regulation they didn't like, are pissed that German automakers like Audi, Mercedes, and BMW are making significant moves in Hungary instead of Germany. That includes some electric vehicle plants moving to the more tax and regulation-friendly Hungary. But what really pisses the Green Party off is the fact that Hungary is led by this guy, Viktor Orban. So I told you that illegal migrants in Europe are tricky little devils, and many from North Africa see Germany as the ideal destination. But to get there, you have to go through other countries like Poland, which recently detained 28 North Africans trying to cross into their country in the trunks of cars. Most of them are from Somalia, which should make this little bitch happy. Up in Sweden, they're cracking down on online porn services. A new law will criminalize activity where porn addicts can interact with live models. You know, the masturbate with me sites out there. Yeah, whatever, Sweden. Now, you wouldn't think that Finland is a destination for illegal or legal migrants, but apparently it is. And the government is cracking down. A new law is going into effect where if a person on a visa is unemployed for 3 months, they face immediate deportation. The law is expected to affect an estimated 50,000 people. And between June and January, Finland has decided to close 26 migrant refugee welcoming centers throughout the country. Ukrainian refugees will be unaffected until March of 2026. So they better end that war there. They have a choice: find a place to live or another refugee center. It seems that Finland is not playing around. Meanwhile, the Finnish military is keeping a close eye on a Russian military buildup along their 1,300-mile long border. Finland became a member of NATO in 2023, so surely Putin isn't that stupid. But there are real fears in Finland that if ever hostilities cease in Ukraine, they might just be next on Putin's list. And speaking of Russia and Ukraine, that quagmire remains one, and Putin's dream of conquest is dying by the month. Yes, there have been some gains here and there, but it would behoove Putin to sit down and negotiate a ceasefire and end this shit. As for Ukraine, just face it, you're not getting Crimea back. Moldova extradited a 21-year-old leader of a neo-Nazi hate group to the United States who goes by the name Commander Butcher and leads a group called the Maniac Murder Cult. They sound like really nice people. He's accused of recruiting people to carry out a mass casualty event in New York City on this past New Year's Eve. He was arraigned in federal court in Brooklyn, so there's some good news. Italy is changing their rules for getting a passport. In order to get one, a parent or grandparent must have been an Italian citizen by birth. The previous law said any descendant born after March 17, 1861, that's 1861, was eligible. In Portugal, the far-right Chega party made significant ground in elections, costing the more leftist party some power. In fact, Chega was neck and neck with Portugal's Socialist Party, which managed to lose 62 seats in parliament over the past 3 years. So maybe things are moving in the right direction in Portugal. So you likely heard about these white South African refugees that Trump allowed into the country. At the center of the controversy is a recently enacted law that allows the government to seize private property. Now, something like 72% of the land is owned by the white minority in South Africa. While that may seem unfair, uncompensated expropriation of land because of your skin color is likewise unfair. And contrary to some reports, there are validated reports of blacks killing white farmers, although the government says it's not racially motivated. It's just robbery. Meanwhile, in South Africa, the BBC has reported that child labor exploited in South Africa in mines is rife with sexual abuse. So besides the horrid and dangerous working conditions in this so-called beacon of black rule of South Africa, perverts are raping and sodomizing young boys as young as 12 years old. Way to go there, South Africa. In the Middle East, Israel has ramped up aerial and ground operations in southern Gaza. Unlike the terrorists that rape and kidnap Israelis, Israel first warns people to move before they attack. Make bad choices, face a bomb dropped on your house. I mean, Israel's not fucking around. Speaking of which, neither is India, who is cracking down on the communist insurgents in one area of that country. They managed to have one insurgent leader meet his maker, marking the first time in decades they've managed to take out a leader of the outlawed Communist Party of India. Thus far, they've arrested 84 rebels and killed another 54 of them. Back in our hemisphere, El Salvador has arrested a prominent civil rights lawyer in that country, Ruth Lopez. No, it's not because of her activism, but because she is charged with embezzling government funds. Incidentally, El Salvador recently announced they will tax money going to NGOs from foreign sources. And finally, thousands rallied in Edmonton, Alberta recently to protest the election of a Liberal Prime Minister and demand secession of the province from Canada. What most pisses them off is Ottawa's preoccupation with climate change, because Alberta is the epicenter of Canada's fossil fuel industry. Said one protester, they take our dirty money, but they won't take our pipelines. And that's it. Have a great day. More pleasant tomorrow.